One last idea that we want to explore when we're looking at angles are two terms called complementary and supplementary. You will have a supplementary angle or a complementary angle. And basically what that means is if I look at a complementary angle, it's telling me that I'm looking at two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So if I have a large 90-degree mark, put a mark in there, here's angle 1 and angle 2. Those two angles are complementary because they add up to 90 degrees. They don't have to be next to each other. I could have had angle 1 there and then angle 2 over there. And if I knew that their measures were like, say, 50 and this was, say, 40, I would know then that they were complementary angles because they add up to 90 degrees. Likewise, we have something called supplementary angles. And supplementary means that they add up to 180 degrees. So sometimes we're going to be looking for angles that are in terms of what does it supplement. So I have a question right here. The measure of an angle is 40 degrees less than 4 times the measure of its complement. As always, I want to determine what it is that I know the least amount about. I know nothing about the angle. It's x. So I have the measure of an angle. It's 40 degrees less than 4 times, so this measure of the angle is 40 degrees less than 4 times the measure of its complement. Well, the measure of the complement of an angle is termed 90 minus x. Let me back up a little bit and help you understand that. So if I have some angle, and that angle is x, well, it's complementary. It would have to be 90 minus x, because if I were to add this plus this together, it has to equal 90 degrees. And is that the case? X plus 90 minus x equals 90. And that is the case. Sometimes we will want to rethink, or we want to write it as x minus 90, but that's not the case. Because if I were to add those two together, the angle and its complementary written as that, x plus x minus 90, I'm going to get 2x minus 90. And that doesn't equal 90 degrees. So when I think about complementary angles and supplementary angles, where one angle is x, its supplementary angle is going to be 180 degrees minus that angle, and its complementary angle is going to be 90 minus that angle. If this is the first time you were hearing these concepts, this one's going to take a while to wrap your head around. So please practice and please give it some thought. To continue this problem, I again have the measure of an angle is 40 degrees less than 4 times the measure of its complement. Let's just take it again very slow. I know nothing about the angle, so the measure of some angle is, the measure of some angle is 40 degrees less than something. There's my minus 40. It's less than 4 times its complementary angle, 90 minus an x. Once I'm able to do that, I'm able to put it in an equation. Now I can go ahead and solve it through. X equals 4 times 90, 360, minus 4x, minus a 40. And at this process, I want to get the x's together, add 4x to both sides. 360 minus 40, I'm left over here, and the other side is 320. Solve for x by dividing both sides by a 5. And I'm left with 60, what is that, folks, 64 degrees? 64 degrees. So the measure of an angle is 64 degrees. And its complementary angle then would have to be 26 degrees. Because these two angles would have to add up to be 90 degrees total. I understand that this concept is a little bit more difficult, mostly because it's the first time we're using some words we're not comfortable with. So please watch this again, work through the examples in the book, and use all the helps that you have available in the homework questions that you're going to be working on here pretty soon.